If you're living in a place where it's dark from like 4:30 p.m. till, 8 a.m. the next morning, you probably get sad. Something else that I don't really tell immigrants, and it's something I had to find out the hard way, is the fact that how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Boma, and in today's video we are talking about reasons why you should not be moving to Canada. I know Canada is trending right now. Everybody loves how beautiful it is. Yes, it's gorgeous. We have fantastic beaches. We've got amazing culture. We've got lots of opportunities for immigrants. We have an attractive prime minister. I'm not sure if people take that into account when deciding to move here. Anyways, there's lots of things that people are thinking about when deciding to move here, but people are not really telling you why you should not move to Canada and the things you should know. Well, in this video, I'm gonna be doing that. So if you're curious about all the reasons why maybe you should not move to Canada and all the things that goes down in this country, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for doing that. It really helps my channel a lot, and let's get started. So one of the things that people don't really tell immigrants about moving to Canada is just the fact that we are a heavily taxed society. So in Canada, you get taxed for doing everything. It is a lot. So most people are paying around 15% in income taxes, and that could go all the way up to 29% or even more depending on how much money you make. The good thing is that we do have a marginal tax rate. So the first like $48,000 and a little bit that you earn, you're paying 15%. Everything more than that, you're paying more and more percentage in taxes. I know that some of the most common immigrant countries, don't pay as much in taxes. So yeah, taxes are a lot, and not just, your income taxes, but when you go shopping and you purchase things, groceries, and you're shopping maybe taxed as well. I live in British Columbia, and we have, up to 12% sales tax. So when you purchase things, you may be paying up to 12%, even if you buy a car, you buy a house, just whatever, your whole life is taxed. So that's something you should be aware of. So don't come to Canada and be like, why is my income going out the drain? Because when you apply for a job and they say you will be earning about $50,000, you got to consider the fact that, probably 15%, probably more of that will be taxed and will be going to the government. It's not yours, so don't even consider that. So yeah, that's the first thing you should know. Taxes are big. Something else that I don't really tell immigrants, and it's something I had to find out the hard way, is the fact that racism exists in this country. I know people don't like to talk about racism here. Obviously, I'm a black woman, and so, I have experienced racism in this country myself. It's almost like a Canadian secret, I think, because Canadians are often very polite, and we like to think of racism as an American problem because we're right next to the States, and we just tell ourselves, oh, it's not too bad here. It's not too bad. But racism is an issue here. Islamophobia is an issue here, and that's, hatred of people who identify as Muslim. Canada has a sexism problem as well, the fact that women earn less than men, etc. So, racism is a huge issue in this country, and that really impacts immigrants because many immigrants are people who, Canadians would consider visible minorities. It means you look visibly non-white. So visible minorities in Canada have a harder time getting jobs because maybe their names sound ethnic, maybe they have a foreign accent. Racism really does impact visible minorities. Also in terms of healthcare here in my province, those in investigation into systemic racism in healthcare, and it does exist, getting worse healthcare and worse treatment in hospitals just because you're not white. These are the issues that people don't really talk about, and also just how Canadian society treats First Nations people who are here first. There's racism there too. So the second thing you should know is just that racism exists, and if you're planning to come to Canada, you should be aware that, it may happen to you too. And else you should know about Canada is that free healthcare is not really free. Again, going back to taxes, people love to talk about the fact that Canada has free healthcare, and yes, as a Canadian, I'm really proud of that. But again, let's be real, healthcare is not really free. We are paying a premium for healthcare, and something else you should know is that our healthcare system does have many flaws. So if you were to to get surgery, for instance, if your surgery is not considered an emergency, you may be waiting up to 6 months or more just to be able to see a surgeon and get that surgery done. That's because in Canada, we have such few doctors, and there's often very, very, very long wait times to see specialists. Relating to healthcare, it's also really hard to get a family doctor. So maybe in your country of origin, you have a family doctor that you've been with for 10 years, or maybe even since you were a child. In Canada, that is very rare. We have facilities called walk-in clinics where you go in there and, you see a doctor, but you know what? It may be a different doctor each time you go into the walk-in clinic, and that doctor may not understand you. The doctor may not know your medical history. The doctor may be super busy. The doctor may be stressed out. There's a lot of reasons why this walk-in medical system does not really work. And because of that, unfortunately, it also leads to an increase in medical malpractice. That's where doctors make mistakes because of various reasons. But in my opinion, one of the reasons that's the case is because these doctors just don't have that ongoing relationship with you. The fact that each time you get sick, you may be seeing a random doctor who may not look at your file, is an issue. So something else you should know about Canada is just the fact that our medical system is not perfect. Another reason why you should not move to Canada is that it is freaking cold. I mean, many immigrants coming from Canada are moving from warm, wonderful, tropical places. Canada is the opposite of warm and tropical. It is freezing. Even in the summers, I know some places in Canada can get quite hot, but not in Victoria. Temperature is just pretty moderate all year round, which works. But I mean, if you're living in places like Winnipeg and Toronto and Montreal, you could be living in like negative 30 Celsius. Like, that is insane. Who wants to do that? Not me. And unfortunately, with our cold weather, just comes, moodiness. If you're living in a place where it's dark a lot of the time, so in many cities in Canada, in the winter it gets dark from around 4:30, and then it doesn't get bright till around 8 a.m., you may get a bit sad as well, right? Like, people need sunshine to be happy. This is a scientific fact. Like, sun is good for your mood and it's good for your health. And so that's something you should know about Canada, the fact that our winters are not fun, and this may affect your health, and it's something you really wouldn't know until you're actually living in it. And all of a sudden you're like, why does my skin look weird? Why do I feel sad? Why is my hair weird? And it can all be traced back to the fact that it's dark, there's no sun, and your body is not happy. Something else to note is that the job market is just not as wonderful as maybe the government tries to make it seem. Many immigrants in this country are underemployed, so it means that, they're coming from their countries with wonderful skills and qualifications, and then when they move to Canada, they do jobs that they are, overqualified for. Depending on where you live, the job market may be very limited, and also just put things into perspective that Canada is a country of like 30-something million people. We're not a massive country at all. So because we're such a small country, it means that we have a pretty small job market, especially if you consider us to the US. So that means that immigrants end up working, wherever they'll hire them. Many immigrants here work in McDonald's or in other fast food restaurants. Like, that's just the reality. Many immigrants here are taxi drivers, and you talk to them and they say, I have a PhD back home. Or they're unemployed, although they're an engineer who was very successful in their country of origin. It's not uncommon in this country. So when you come to Canada, it's very important that you have realistic job expectations. If not, this country will break your heart. I mentioned earlier that we pay high taxes. Well, when you pay high taxes, it really impacts the cost of living across the board. Think of a big city like Toronto where, an average one bedroom may cost, $2,000, $2,200, somewhere there. But the average wage is like $7,500. The numbers don't add up. It means that people, spend quite a bit of money from their monthly salary to make ends meet. People are spending a lot of money on rent. People are spending a lot of money on utilities, so things like, your electricity, your gas, those things are expensive. Wi-Fi in this country is really expensive. Cell phone bills in this country is really expensive because we're so small and we don't have lots of companies to compete with each other and bring the prices down. So you're paying a premium in Canada compared to the US, for example. Insurance is really expensive, again, because, I live in BC, for instance. We only have, one main insurance corporation, ICBC. Life in Canada is expensive, the cost of living is expensive, and the reality is that you may not be able to save as much as you anticipated moving to Canada because you're not making as much money and you're spending it quite quite a bit as well. So sure, you don't have to live in a big city that's really expensive, but even in smaller cities in Canada, the cost of living is quite high and you're not making as much money every month. So it's sort of a trade-off. Large city, you earn more money per month, but your cost of living is higher. Small city, it's probably less fun. Your salary is a bit lower. Your cost of living may be cheaper depending on where you live. So there's lots of decisions to be made, deciding where you want to live and how much money you want to pay. Those are the things I can think of in terms of reasons why you should not move to Canada. Again, it's something that you probably have to make that call for yourself. Maybe come visit, see if you like it before deciding to relocate here permanently. I hope this video was helpful for you if you're planning to move here. I think it's helpful to have a different perspective than what you keep getting all the time from all the immigration ads. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have a Facebook group where I answer questions about life in Canada as well, so don't forget to add me there. Good luck in your immigration journey, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.